in front of two, I suppose, young girls in their early 20s who were just chatting behind her in the middle of the service. And one said to the other, "They talk a lot about Jesus at this place." That's great. That's what church should be all about.
Yeah. Well, hello and welcome to the Church Office Podcast. My name is Gavin Smith, and it's a joy today to welcome you to our Admin and Ops podcast. We love talking about all the ministry that happens behind the scenes, and we love talking to administrators and operations staff. We love pastors who are listening in and leaders who are engaging with our podcast. So thank you so much for listening. And this might be one of our last podcasts of the year. And I've got a special guest, Mark Parsons, on. How are you, mate? Good to have you on the podcast.
Is that the best way of describing the run up to Christmas? I think, was it a week till Christmas Eve we're recording this, aren't we? So
I know.
Yeah. I'm doing fine. I'm still smiling. I'm still smiling with crooked teeth and all that. So yeah.
Catherine and I have spent ages trying to find someone who's actually free as a run up to Christmas. And
well, you owe me big time for this, I'm telling you. So yeah.
Mark was my victim, and he kindly agreed at the last minute. And I was like, "We've got to get one in on Christmas before we get there."
Having a tea break while we do this.
So, surviving Christmas is our topic, and obviously, we want to make the most of this season, not just, mainly for the opportunity to preach the gospel, isn't it, and share the good news of Jesus, and that's kind of a real opportunity, isn't it, in the culture to be able to engage people. Mark, remind people on the podcast where you're based and what you're involved
in Bristol. If you know Bristol, you'll know the Clifton Suspension Bridge. If you come over the bridge into Bristol, our church is just in front of you. So, and I'm ops manager here. Been here for 13 years now. So, yeah,
wow.
Christchurch Clifton.
Yeah, amazing. And Mark and I work together in UCAN as directors, and Mark's the chair of UCAN, and we've developed a great friendship and a great camaraderie together of kind of serving our local churches in the same role, and it's been a joy. I've been on staff here at 21, almost 22 years in January it'll be, so I can we love this post, and it's a joy to kind of serve together on this. So Christmas started a number of weeks ago for you, didn't it, in terms of the event? You've got a local event that happens. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are, although we're in a city, we're in an area of Bristol called Clifton, which calls itself Clifton Village, which always makes me laugh because it's about as unlike a village as you could possibly imagine. But the local traders, they club together and they put up what they claim to be the biggest Christmas tree in the southwest.
Yeah.
And it goes up at the beginning of November. And we get invited to go along and bless the tree, which is hilarious, and sing some carols. So that was at the beginning of November. We took a little team from Christchurch to go and sing some carols, and we blessed the people who came to watch the tree being lit. And then they got a couple of the Bristol Bears ladies who had been in the Rugby World Cup recently to come and actually press the button and turn the tree lights on. So so that and that basically means that we have to be ready to go with all our publicity and all our events by the beginning of November, because we use it as an opportunity to hand out loads of flyers and invite people to come.
Amazing. So you've started this right at the beginning of November, and people say to me, "Don't start talking about Christmas until the 1st of December." Mate, I love that. I love the fact that you didn't follow the brief either. Was that your vicar not blessing the tree, rather bless the people who turn up? I like
exactly,
that. Yeah. I love that. And you're at a stage at the church where your vicar is now retired, isn't he? And you're
that's right. So we've been in
the middle.
We've been in what the Church of England called a vacancy. So we've our vicar Paul left at the end of August. And we've been in the process of putting together a parish profile, which is like an advert, job description, and interviewing for a new vicar, and doing all that in the midst of preparing for Christmas as well. So it's been a busy season.
It has been a busy season. And I love the fact that you know, when we were talking privately, you were saying to me that, you know, the temptation is to go, okay, we haven't got a vicar, let's just kind of go slow and wind it down. But you guys as a leadership team there have taken a totally different approach. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, we wanted to build momentum really, so that when our new vicar arrives, and we now know that he'll be arriving in the spring, that he's not coming into a church that's effectively gone into hibernation for the winter, but one that is still accelerating, motoring along, and something exciting for him to join. So yeah, so we've been doing that with a slightly reduced team at senior level, but it's been very rewarding. We've seen God do some amazing things actually over the last 4 months, I guess, since Paul left.
I love that. I love that. And you were describing to me one of the days that you kind of did a maintenance day on the church building, and you got everyone together, and you had a counter going, didn't you? Fill me in on that before
we did. So we did a thing called Big Church Family Day, which we thought, we did it right at the beginning of September, as soon as everybody was back at school. And it was really two aims, really. One was to just get loads of jobs done around the building, which had been hanging around for ages. But the main one was to bring the church family together and go, it's business as usual, guys. We're not, just because Paul and Jackie have left, it doesn't mean the church is going to grind to a halt. We're still church family. We're still going to do things together. So I think we had 150 jobs that we wanted to get done.
Amazing.
The course of the day, we had 100 people come along and sign up, which for us is amazing, on a Saturday. And we had this idea that we thought what would be fun is on all the screens around the building we'll have a little task completed counter. So we made this little thing in PowerPoint, and it just went task completed, started at 0, went all the way up to 150. And every time somebody completed a task, they could press the little clicker button that clergy normally use when they're preaching, and it would increase the number on the screens. But more importantly, it would do a big round of applause coming out the church sound system. And people loved it. They absolutely loved it. And the kids particularly were like, "Oh, I've done a job. Can I press the button?"
Yeah.
So it's great. It was really good.
I love that. That is so good, and just a real inspiring idea to kind of gather the church together and do that. And maintenance needs a lot of that, doesn't it? So particularly in your fantastic old building, it's beautiful. There must be jobs all the time. We're deviating. Sorry, that's my fault, because I just love those things. I just think they're great to share on the podcast because they're just a really good idea. Kids getting up there and getting involved and pressing the button and just seeing jobs done and family life church family coming together to serve is just wonderful. Let's talk about the Christmas program then, because I always feel like we kind of cheat at Christmas because ours is quite light touch, really. I mean, we've got kind of Sundays where we're like this Sunday coming 21st, where we've got a choir happening. We've got loads of people who have been invited. There's a bit of a reception stuff happening. And then we do our carol service on the 23rd, and then we're finished until, we have the Sunday the 28th off, and then we get back in year. So it's a real kind of shutdown. I think that's one of the things I love about Christmas is it really is a good break. So tell me your schedule, which might look a little different to that, Mark.
I think it probably does look a little different, actually, Gavin. I'm not jealous at all. So so obviously we start with the lighting of the Christmas tree back in November. Then at the end of November, we do our Christmas market, which we do every year. And we have about 30 stall holders who come along to that. It's a mixture of church people who are very creative and local businesses that we want to support. And we get about 1,000 people come through the doors of the building that day. And our main aim really is to invite people to stuff. So we are on the door welcoming people, but as they're leaving, we're inviting them to come to our Christmas events and our Christmas services. And then Christmas itself starts for us. Last weekend, I guess last Sunday, Sunday the 14th, we had our 2 big carol services in the evening, so 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Kind of contemporary feel to them, but they're our main events, and just a fantastic opportunity to preach the gospel. Again, one of the great things about not having a vicar is you don't have to have the vicar preach at these things. So we got one of our young adults to preach. He's heading up our Alpha course in January, and said to her, "Why don't you just use it as an opportunity to preach the gospel, invite people to Alpha?" And that's what she did. She did an absolutely fantastic job. And one of the best comments I heard was our youth pastor Beth was sitting in front of 2, I suppose, young girls in their early 20s who were just chatting behind her in the middle of the service. And one said to the other, "They talk a lot about Jesus at this place, don't they?" That's great. That's what church should be all about. So that was last Sunday. We had midweek carols yesterday. Wednesday, because we have a midweek service, mainly older people, so that was a bit more
Yeah.
traditional choir and organ, and then they had
Yeah.
lunch afterwards. This Sunday we've got an all-age Christmas praise in the morning. We've got Christingle in the afternoon. And then next week, Christmas Eve, we've got another Christingle on Christmas Eve. Then two services on Christmas Day, 8 o'clock in the morning, communion, traditional communion, and then 10 o'clock, all singing, all dancing, completely mad, completely silly Christmas celebration.
Okay.
And then most of the staff team are on holiday, but because we're a Church of England church, we still have to do a service on the 28th. So
Okay.
one of our poor clergy people has pulled the short straw for that, and we can't do that.
They're coming
But
in.
yeah, but in the midst of all that, we've got school assemblies happening.
Yeah.
So we've had several of the local schools come in to use the building for their assemblies and things like that, and they all have to be done in the midst of it. So I couldn't tell you how many times I've moved chairs in the last
Oh man.
kind of
I
seven
mean,
days. Too
it's like
many.
all hands to the deck, isn't it,
All
man?
hands to the deck. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's wild, yeah. And I always find this time like quite busy, and just in the last couple of weeks I've written so many Christmas cards of like thank yous and sending them off to people and just wanting to honor people in different ways. And like I find Christmas is a kind of real opportunity, isn't it, to kind of be able to bless people and do that,
Yeah.
and thank them for their service. So that's where I've probably been busier. We had a good staff kind of Christmas party. This year we opted for not going out for dinner. And it's like we've taken them out for dinner most years. And I don't know about you, Mark, but it just ends up being quite an expensive thing.
Yeah.
40, £50 a head. And you can sometimes just sit next to one or two people, and they're the people that you spend the whole time with. And so I was like, right, let's just shake it up this year. And I don't know if all staff really appreciated it or not, but I loved it. And we booked a chef to come, and he
Okay.
just did like French food and just did a whole bunch of stuff. And we had someone who was like a kind of comic like drawer,
Okay.
and he came along and was drawing stuff and having a bit of fun, and it was great music. And I felt like it was really more honoring because we could say and thank people more intentionally than you could in a restaurant or something like that. And I don't know exactly what everyone does church wise and church teams, but that was
Yeah,
our experience.
we're similar. We very rarely go out for dinner at Christmas, so we had ours on Tuesday, 2 days ago. We just met in the biggest house, the person with the biggest
Yeah.
house. We met there. One of the team who loves cooking did all the cooking for the food, and
Great.
we did a quiz. So we had and it was
Yes.
great. Everybody who wanted to was able to bring a round of questions, so 8 questions. So we had 6 rounds on all sorts of diverse topics, and then we did it in teams, and we just had a great laugh. It was really good fun. So
Yeah, I love that and stuff because sometimes these things can fall to one person. When you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, each person does a round,
yeah, yeah.
and on their specialty or on their thing. What did you do yours on?
Mine was on the best Christmas song ever written, which is of course the Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl. So yeah.
Did people get your answers? Did they get it?
Yeah, yeah. One team got 7 out of 8, which I thought was
Okay,
pretty good going because
that's pretty good going.
yeah, not all of us were born around in the 80s. So
I
yeah,
know, I know. So, Mark, in terms of like refreshments, like this week now for us, we're getting ready with like refreshments, thinking about the carousel surf, and we normally do like a mulled wine,
yeah.
sherry, mince pies, orange juice for the kids and stuff. What kind of refreshments are you doing at a kind of carol service? Are you doing the typical things like that?
Yeah, so we did our main carol service was last Sunday, and we had mince pies and mulled wine at that. So 150 bottles of mulled wine, and how many hundreds of mince pies went out
Yeah.
on Sunday, and then that's it in terms of refreshments. So
Okay.
this week it's about prepping 500 oranges for Christine. So,
Wow.
yeah, but yeah.
So the Chris Tingle service, tell me about that. What happens in that?
I don't know. I really don't know where Christingle came from, but it's this. If you know what a Christingle is, it's a kind of orange with a candle stuck in the top of it, and there's a ribbon round it, and there's sweets that go on it, and they
Yeah.
they all represent bits of the gospel message. And we just found that kids, particularly younger kids and their families, they just love it. They love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get whereas our kind of more caroly services attract people who are perhaps a bit more familiar with church, or
Yeah.
Christingle is just really fringe, so we
Yeah.
get loads of kids and families from the local primary school
Yeah.
come along. They have no idea how to behave in church. It's a complete riot, and we just give them loads of sweets.
Just make it worse by
Just
pouring the
make it
sugar
worse,
on.
yeah. And then, but there's this magical moment in the middle of the Christingle where everyone's made their Christingle and they're all holding them, and we light the little candles on the top, and then just turn all the lights off in the building
Aye,
and sing
brilliant.
Silent Night, and it's really magical, and
Aye,
we
sweet.
love it. So
I love that. I love that. Our outreach events were a bit different this year. So we normally had done like a big Christmas market, but we sort of did a pop-up Christmas market with our cafe, which brought a different kind of feel and crowd. And then we did like three wreath making sessions in three
yeah.
evenings, and then we got families together to do the gingerbread building of houses and stuff. And the wreath making, I've never seen anything so popular. They were fully booked. People signed up to them, brought their friends along to them. The kids one was great. I probably enjoyed the gingerbread one more than the others, but
Mm.
there's there was a sense this year of, like, for us, rather than going for kind of big events, how could we, relationally go out there and invite your friends to it? And our coffee shop is the first kind of Christmas we've really had it operational. So we were kind of extending our reach out from there. And I always wonder, what the kind of, we've got our Carol Service Tuesday, what the result of that is. Will people come back to that? And will they keep coming? And have you found that people have come to your first kind of services and then have gone, oh, I've really enjoyed that, right, I'm going to come back to the next one?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, and one of my frustrations with Christmas, because Christmas is so, it so dominates this time of year, and it puts an awful lot of pressure on the staff team. And I think for about 3 or 4 years I've been asking the question, what is the fruit of this?
Yeah.
Why do we do this? And what is the fruit that comes from it? And it's a really difficult question to answer. And it's partly because I think, particularly with us, because we're a Church of England church, we're kind of, we're part of, if you like, the establishment, although we wouldn't describe ourselves in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an expectation on us that we will do certain things in certain ways.
Yeah.
And so Christmas becomes almost, it can become almost like an idol in a way. You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
don't touch Christmas, don't change Christmas,
Yeah.
and certainly don't ask questions about the fruitfulness of Christmas,
Mm.
because yeah. And so this year, partly the gift of not having a vicar this year has been, we can change stuff,
Mm.
because we want to gift our new vicar the opportunity to do something different if he
Yeah.
wants to, and not go, oh, but we've always done it this way.
Mm.
So we've tried to shake things up a little bit. We've tried to do stuff that is authentically us. So we've not done a big traditional carol service with choir and organ
Yeah.
this year,
Yeah.
because that's not what you get on an ordinary Sunday if you come to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Christchurch.
Yeah.
You do on a Wednesday, so we did that on Wednesday, but not on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And some people would have come on Sunday and gone, oh, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? But we know that other people came and
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. And again, as I was saying earlier on, with our friend Alyssa speaking on Sunday, just trying to be more intentionally invitational, particularly thinking about Alpha, because for us, again, being Church of England Church, people come at Christmas. I have no idea why, but they do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things that people do around here, and so we have that captive audience, if that's the right phrase.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's an opportunity to share Jesus with them. But in terms of the fruit, I really don't know. We'll know the fruit on the 15th of January when we see how many people come to Alpha or not.
Yeah.
That will be the test.
Yeah. It is a really hard question, isn't it, to do? Because you're right, there is a strain on staff, isn't there? For us, getting all the decorations up and decorating the building is a big task. And then the events that you run and getting all the resources ready, all the teams and ready. So there is so much work that goes into it. And you're right, you are asking questions, are we doing this just because it is tradition, or are we doing this because there really is fruit? I think you're right, isn't it? Maybe a takeaway from the podcast is it's the intentional bit, isn't it? We found we need another step to invite people to. So Christmas isn't like the end, kind of right. Well, we've made it, but actually we want to get over the line and go. Well, actually in January there's this happening, or there's a discipleship explored, or an alpha, or Christianity explored, and those things, and yeah, kind of intentionally doing that well, isn't it? Because Christmas is quite a time for reflection, isn't it? People do stop, don't they, in the new year and go, okay, what is my life about? And so many people that we've been, had on the podcast, or church leaders that we're talking to are saying, this quiet revival is happening, and how do we make the most of that this year is a big question. And I know we're kind of right in the midst of it as we kind of launch this podcast, but it'd be really interesting to hear from some of our listeners, what was their experience been of Christmas? How do they measure fruit, and what changes might they make based on that information that they present? So it is an interesting topic. Yeah.
Remember a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago, we did as we started to sit down as a staff team to think about Christmas, probably in September, we asked our staff team what would be success for you for this Christmas period. And it was really interesting. One of the answers that came back really strongly was, I'd like to get to Christmas Day and not be completely dead.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh my goodness, we need to do, if that is the marker of success for our staff, then we are doing things very fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
To make some big changes in the way we do stuff. So we've tried, I don't know how successful we are, but we've tried over the last couple of years not to kill ourselves over Christmas. It's so easy to do.
And what you're describing to me as your program this year is lighter than it was the previous year, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So you've taken that on board and applied that. And again, your busyness compared to ours. And you think you're right. We talked about doing a kids carol service this year, and we just thought it'd be a really nice touch to have their church, kids invite their friends. But we looked at it and just thought, I don't know if we've got the capacity. And it does take a bit of courage, doesn't it? Because there are so many good ideas that come forward of how we can use this season. But you're right, unless they come to the table in September, and they're talked about in that kind of bigger picture, then we can suddenly be running so much that we lose our joy in it, don't we? And that affects our families and our experience over Christmas. So it's a good point, isn't it? And it's I mean, there must be some administrators and managers out there that don't get the option. They are just asked to deliver it. And I suspect for a lot of Anglican churches, that is the expectation, like you were describing, Mark.
Yeah, I think we've also tried to be kind to our staff in terms of leave as well. So I know some churches ban all leave in the run up to Christmas. We don't do that. We have staff off, throughout December, and we encourage that so that people don't arrive too exhausted on Christmas Day. And yes, that needs a little bit of forward planning and that kind of thing. But we find the staff rise to that, and if they're going to take some time off in the run up to Christmas, they'll work a bit harder to get everything done before that happens. But because there's other stuff. I mean, there's presents to buy for the family, there's cards to write, there's family to visit, and all those kind of things. And Christmas shouldn't just dominate, or church Christmas shouldn't just dominate our lives at a time when everybody else is out there doing their Christmas shopping and going to parties.
Yeah, good. How is your Christmas shopping going, Mark?
Well, you know how my Christmas shopping is going, Gavin, because you phoned me up in the middle of it the other night. Yes, I have all my presents all neatly wrapped behind me on the floor.
Neatly wrapped as well. Okay.
Yeah. So I had a little panic yesterday. I don't know why, but I suddenly thought, I've got to wrap the presents up, because in my brain Christmas was like tomorrow, and then I realized I got a whole week to go, and I was like,
you're ahead of schedule already.
I'm ahead of schedule.
I love that.
How's your Christmas shopping going then? Have you
I am feeling a little bit of pressure because Emma says she's got me a big present this year, and she says, like, she doesn't have these ideas very often. So I'm like now feeling, okay, what has she got me? and have I done a good job in returning gifts that would be as thoughtful as she has. But yeah, I haven't started wrapping anything yet. We haven't quite finished some of the kids stuff yet, and I think because Emma started a new job, we're kind of like, this is probably our most disorganized Christmas we've ever had. So I've taken tomorrow off work, Friday, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna sort this out tomorrow and finalize everything. So the turkey's been bought because I did hear there is a shortages of turkeys.
Ooh, okay.
So
Well,
if you're listening to the podcast,
maybe we'll be having fish and chips on Christmas Day then.
somebody said to me, "Oh, I don't really mind. I'll probably just get a chicken or a bit of beef or something." So yeah, not as worried about the tradition. So it's a great though, isn't it? Great time, and for those administrators and managers. I do hope and pray that as you get to Christmas Day and Boxing Day, there is a grace for you to rest and time off. And for us, we miss a Sunday, which is great. It just gives a little bit of space and time. And I do hope, for you that you get a rest as well in the midst of that. So a busy year, isn't it? This term is a crazy term. September to December in the life of a church is wild. And are you kind of thinking, when does your mind shift to the new year, Mark?
Well, again, it's one of these quirky Church of England things. Is that someone somewhere decided that the financial year for Church of England churches would end on the 31st of December. So
oh no.
So yeah, exactly. So I am, as well as thinking about Christmas, I am chasing everybody for those last minute invoices and payments, and then starting to think almost as soon as the 1st of January arrives to start to prepare the annual accounts for next year and get them through the auditor and all those kind of things. So why they do this to us, I don't know, but that's one of those things that's set in stone and can't be changed. So we have started thinking about next year. We've got our Sunday series planned out, and obviously we're looking forward to our new vicar arriving in the spring. So there's a bit of prep to do for that, and all sorts of things happening. It
doesn't
great, stop, does it?
It doesn't stop, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. And for me, similar kind of thing. You switch, don't you, to finance? You're switching to, okay, we always have a team retreat, a kind of senior leadership team retreat and elders in January, the second week of January. So you've got a week to kind of prep ready for that. So I've already made a start on thinking, right, okay, what are our priorities for this year? What's our vision for this year? How are we doing in our mission? All those kind of questions of, where we're at and where do we want to go to and how do we need to do that? All those things start coming out, and I thrive on all of that. So I really look forward to the new year as well, jumping into some of that space. So exciting times. But again, it's been a really great year, and we've known God's faithfulness to us as a church. We've known him through the church office, and God's kind provision for us, and through UCAN and our work that we do together, Mark. That's just been wonderful, isn't it? We've known grace in that, and we're looking forward to the conference happening in June, mate. We
absolutely,
we kind of are kind of, well, biannual, isn't it? 3-day kind of conference for managers in UCAN. And if you've not heard of UCAN, then go and check it out. And check out the conference, the Cutting Edge Conference. It's all about being equipped in our roles as managers. And it's a really good time, isn't it? It's about 100 of us go away for 3 days and love it. So looking forward to that. Well, today, let me finish with a shout out to our sponsors. Normally do it at the start, but me and Mark got straight into the conversation. So really appreciate Gavin and the team at Church Suite and their support of the church office and what they do and how they serve churches and administrators and managers all over the country with some just brilliant database, brilliant modules that just serve you in so many different ways. Let me encourage you to go and check it out at churchsuite.com to get a trial or talk to one of us. We absolutely love it, Mark. You do as well.
I'm old enough to remember life before Church Suite, and there are some things about the past which are lovely, but that's not one of them. So I don't know how we would do Christmas without those guys.
It's great. And then they're constantly updating it, and there's training videos in there. There's a new communication button as well now that you can get into more easily. And so, yeah, really good stuff. And yeah, it's great to be able to partner with them. So, Mark, thanks for coming on the podcast. Thanks for chatting about Christmas, surviving Christmas. Looking forward to the new year. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to the podcast this year and supporting the church office. And we'll look forward to seeing you in 2026. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.